next here, Joe?
Yeah, well, just right now, the briefing with all 100 senators wrapped up. And I actually want to bring us over here because Senator Eric Schmitt from Missouri is giving his reaction to what he heard inside of there. So let's listen in here.
Number one, Barack Obama took out American citizens. You didn't hear anything from the Democrats about that through drone strikes. And it's also a really dangerous road to go down to sow this sort of doubt among not just service members in the chain of command, but also among the American people. So 100% justified to do it. We finally have a president who cares about Americans in our hemisphere. But the Democrats can't get over Trump and Hegseth. So their criticisms aren't based on the law. If you have a problem with the operation, that's a political question. But to try to turn this into what they've turned it into, I think is highly irresponsible.
So we've heard that there was no mention of what comes next, longer goals with this bombing campaign. Are you comfortable with that? And would you like to see?
I would disagree with that characterization. The president has declared a number of cartels as terrorist organizations. And blowing them out of the water will continue. Now, what's telling is we've seen a drop-off of that. So there has been a deterrent effect, especially in the Caribbean. You also have in the Eastern Pacific. So I think it's been very effective. And by the way, not all operations are kinetic. There are a number of civilian apprehensions and detainments also. So that's what I'm saying. It's a very deliberate process to identify when kinetic activity will commence. And I think they were very clear about that. So I think a lot of the criticism you'll hear from Democrats is just very disingenuous. And I get it. This is we're in the Senate and there's politics, but I think it's really a shame that they've turned this into something so political.
Do you think if there are land strikes, the administration should come to Congress and get approval before that happens?
Well, I think the question is whether or not the activity constitutes war. And the current designation of the terrorist organizations is their infrastructure. Right now, the infrastructure relates to the boats that are bringing the poison into America. So that is the legal framework by which they're operating.
Senator, can I ask you about Ukraine and the young woman?
Okay, we're going to step away from the gaggle here for just a second, Marnie. So as we mentioned now, today, at the end of the afternoon, we are going to be in a situation where every single member of Congress has gotten at least the opportunity to get a briefing from Secretaries Marco Rubio, Pete Hegseth, and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, Dan Kane. Senators, as you just heard, they got their briefing right now. As I'm talking to you, the briefers are headed over to the House side where they will have the opportunity to ask questions and hear about what comes next. So we've already heard a couple of little snippets. Obviously, you just heard Republican Senator Eric Schmitt there say he's satisfied. He feels that the campaign, after getting insight from inside of that room, is legal, is proper, and he says drug boats are going to continue to be blown out of the water based on what he heard in that briefing. So interesting stuff there. You also heard him, I was asking whether Congress should get approval, or should give approval, rather, if there are land strikes, because we've heard several lawmakers, some Republicans too, saying they want to be kept more in the loop on what comes next. I want to play just a different perspective here. Democrat Senator Blumenthal, this is what he said going in about his concerns and what he wanted to get out of this briefing. Take a listen.
I hope there's full disclosure. The American people need and deserve to hear from them directly, even though today it will be just the senators. And I hope whatever we hear today can be told to the American people. What is the end game? What's the strategy in putting this armada, 1/7 of our total naval strength, in the Caribbean? And why are we killing people on these boats? What are they carrying? Where are they going? Who's on them? Who's behind them?
So even after the briefing, those kinds of questions are going to linger. I should just mention, Marnie, that as we're talking about this and as Secretary Rubio and Hegseth continue to at least let Congress know what has happened thus far, what we're also seeing are these strikes continuing. And in just the last 24 hours, you saw another strike where there were 3 boats taken out and 8 people killed. So obviously, Congress is going to continue to follow this as the situation in the water and on the coast of Venezuela develops.
All right, Joe Khalil, thank you.